Welcome to Raw and Real. This first episode, my husband Ramon and his brother D leads us down some past trails that have shaped who they are. We talk about relationships, respect, mistakes we've made, how even our cat Montu ends up teaching us how to deal with individual personalities. Real conversations, real experiences, and sometimes uncomfortable accountability. We learn from them, make the necessary corrections so God can give us grace.
So Gayle record some of my conversations sometime, man, and she showed me back like 6 months later. Like, damn.
Okay.
And I can say, you know what? I like that guy or I don't like that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, man, believe it or not, I was there 10 years ago.
But how
I
many
didn't like
times
that
have
guy.
you went back?
Went back? Hey, man.
Can you play something back and say, hey, I like that guy, I dislike that guy? You know, it's I don't even know what the word that I would be looking for. It's pretty, like, I wouldn't say fascinating. You know, that it's like intriguing. Damn, you captured that? Like, you captured that moment, and like certain things, like even with, I mean, she got the some of the instances with me and my pops on the phone, and like, man, and you know, hey, I may not have liked what I said or whatever like that, but I also don't feel like I owe apology either. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know?
But for me, like I said, now when you start a certain process of it, is I was attacking all the wrong things. You know what I mean? All the wrong things. You know, like when my emotions was crazy, that was showing me that I had to go back to see why my emotions were so out of whack. I understand, you know, I don't have to protect myself from anyone no more. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's going to come out. You know, hopefully I learn how to communicate with everyone to the point to where when we talk, I know when to shut up, when to listen, when to comment. With you, I do, and then I don't. You know what I mean?
We both come to a big growth. I'm gonna call it a growth patch. We've both come to a big growth patch where we've had to relearn respect, and I give you big kudos, man, because yeah, I remember times where I've had to like over talk you to just get my point across and stuff like that. But I could definitely see now you shut up when I'm talking, and I shut up when you talking, and whether we agree or disagree, we give people the floor. And now you can get your point across clear. And I feel like I can get my point across clear. And now that's what is the definition of a happy medium right there. And it preserves the relationship.
Yeah, that's continued growth, bro. That's
and if you
moving forward without zigzagging, that's going in a straight line.
Well, then you got to ask yourself, why people do it in a different terms, and why we was ever doing it. If you really truly care about the relationship, this is the form of action that should happen.
Well, most people don't want to do the work to get there, though, bro. One thing me and you are doing are not blaming. You know, we understand the assignment. I mean, we know where we came from, right? You know, but most people don't want to just, all right, that's where it stopped. Moving forward, this relationship is going to be built off of this. You know what I mean? For me, I had to understand what respect meant, not what everybody else thought respect meant, what respect meant to me. You know what I mean? Growing up, I thought having a bunch of women, bunch of homies, all that meant respect. No, that meant I was on an emotional roller coaster. I was chasing. You know, respect is respecting yourself. You know, respecting everyone you talk to, regardless of how they come towards you. I'm gonna respect you enough to where I like your word. Use one of your words where you dead to me, because I'm not that person no more, and I don't want to go upside your head or do something that put me. That's what that word dead to me mean when it come out of your mouth. It's something I'm going to protect myself. Like, I'm going to protect, but you don't want to use protect. I don't want to, because, at the end of the day, for me, I was looking at 48 years. I'm never going back to that point. If it comes to it, I'm going to protect my family. But if my daughter want to go out there and deal with men that treat her like crap, that ain't what I showed her. She didn't get that from here. And when she come over here, she gonna be told, hey, this is not okay. All of that, it's all about respect. If you don't do the work, how you expect to get a different result, right? But you gotta respect yourself. You gotta respect yourself to understand that everything you do today will affect you later on in life. And it ain't no running from it. I'm not gonna make excuses. When it comes to me, I'm a target what happened, and we gonna work on that. I'm gonna keep putting it out there. You know what I mean? I like you said, my daughter, I love her to death. The most important woman ever in my life. I named her after my mama. But the one thing I did growing up was watch other people how they raise their daughters, and that wasn't the best thing for me and my daughter. Because when she got a little older, her mouth got slit, and she started talking crap. You know what I mean? And certain things, but that's my fault because I didn't.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny,
I didn't. Yeah, it's funny, but
no, I'm talking about like that. I'm talking about like it's funny, hearing what you're saying right now, and like I've kind of like the part that I did have in my kids' life. I kind of taught them all how to fight. Just like I taught my cat. I was doing my cat, man. My cat know how to scrap, man. And I just like, man, now and then when as my kids are adults, looking at my oldest daughter buffing out and talking about she want to body slam me, and like, man, like what? Yeah, that'd be the day.
Well, I'm telling you, it's funny. It's funny that everything we do every day they paying attention to. I mean, I learned. I took this page from you and Gayle. The way y'all treat each other unconsciously is something you're showing everybody in your life. This is how a wife and a husband relationship should be going. Right?
Something that we was never taught, even though I grew up with both mom and pops there,
Oh, you were taught the same thing from your past 3 relationships. Same thing with me, man. I'm thinking growing up, hey, man, there's one out there that is okay. I'm on the phone. I'm all right. I ain't lost it yet. I know I'm getting old. Yeah, but it's everything in life reflect if you look at it. Only thing you can change is your view towards everything. You know what I mean?
And your view help you. It's a blessing beyond a blessing right here, man. That was one of the biggest decisions when I made in my life, man. Hey, I want to be here, bro, and boom, boom, boom. And not shortly afterwards, I was connected with Gayle. It was a beautiful start, but it was rocky at the same time, and we both had past dealings to face, and they weren't just happening right there in the beginning. So like most relationships, you got your good in there and bam, but reserves. I'm gonna call them reserves. And you probably gonna say, but there you go with that wordplay.
Hey man, I understand that one.
But
I understand a lot of things that you say. I just, but just remember, a lie is a lie regardless.
I'm happy we went through it, because who knows if I would have continued wanting to live. And Gayle too. Sometimes I seen her at the point where it looked like she wanted to jump. Hey, am I wrong on that, babe?
Oh.
Man, every day.
Taking a few people with me though.
Hey, every day I want to jump, but I ain't jumping off no bridge. I want to say thank you, Lord, for giving me another day. I'm jumping. Man. Thank you for helping me understand my assignment each day. You know what I mean? I know I got to work, but
like people were trying to drive me crazy.
Oh, they was, babe.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, you got a husband that do it every once in a while too.
man, they was
Legally.
Trying to push me to the edge.
oh man, they was in her inbox all the time, boy. Like probably some things she still ain't let me know. Not because she hiding anything from me. It's probably either irrelevant or she don't even remember it. But
Yeah, that's the good thing. You can shut that shit off and be like, man, that shit ain't even worth even entertainable.
yeah, man. I remember like, boy, this. Somebody told me you was on. They sent me you on Tinder. Man,
Yeah.
Worse when she was talking to one of the daughters of one of the women that used to work for me. So they had to let me know that for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, and
But you know what?
because
You know what? That helped y'all become a lot solider, though.
Talking to my daughter.
I appreciate that, though. That helped you guys become the couple you are without that. I mean, that's you know, you got to take the good with the bad, like you said. You learn what to do and what not to do. I think all that helped
well,
y'all
at
become
some
the
point I
couple
want
you
to
are today.
be able to curate this to a conversation that a young person or a young I don't want to say young as an age. I want to say young in this part of their life that can make better decisions than I made and Gayle made at that time. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I've been trying to do that. That's exactly what I try to do.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. And in the beginning of this thing right here, oh man, I came in this like with my suit and tie on, man, thinking like, you know what? After I seen the true genuine care, you know, I'm like, man, I need to give this my full throttle. And then there was some little things in the back of my neck that I like, you know, oh man, hopefully it don't go this route. Crazy enough, man. A person that I talked to a lot of the time was the wrong person. Baby down, nigga.
Well, I think the way I view that one is you needed to hear that shit. That way you understand it wasn't for you. You know, that's what you exactly needed to
though,
hear.
he did give me a lot of good stuff at that time, though. But his end game and angle point
It's the same as it's always been.
Yeah, he wasn't the
yet.
one that was trying to damage us immediately, you know. But he definitely didn't want to.
Okay. Well, see, one thing you got to understand about certain people, and the thing you didn't understand is with Baby Down is always competition. Once you respect that with your little brother is competition, always going to be competition, you don't have to feed into that competition, right? You know, you don't have to feed into it all the time.
Well, it didn't matter who it is, and when it is in a first start of a relationship like that, everybody, oh yeah, they got their jokes inside, and like, you know, hey, Gayle from her side, you're like, she coming out looking like Albert Einstein, like, whoa, you had a great night, huh? Hair all over the place. That's all fun and games until, you know, oh damn, they love each other. Then when they're like, oh, they love each other, man, we got to turn their power off.
Yeah, they love each other and they're really going to be together. Oh, we got to trip this shit up real good. We got to find a way to tear this shit down. We can't be too obvious about how we're doing it, though.
You can't be laughing too much on social media. They coming.
We can't be too obvious about how we're going to do this stuff. We'll be subtle and throw those little roadblocks in there somehow or another, and then we'll act like we're really not doing it. And that's how all of them did it.
Well, you know, the one thing about that's how they did it, that's the only difference now is you don't allow them in your life to do it no more. They still doing it. They still
They're not doing it to us, though. I mean,
oh no, because you know what you did? What you do? Like, nope, you dead to me till you change.
Well, I mean, that part before I got to that level, that was a whole different scenario right there, man. I had to say, hey, you know what? My past dealings and the way I dealt with other situations that, you know, hey, I dealt with situations accordingly on those last things before meeting Gayle accordingly. This is different if I want to give myself a good opportunity hey, I need to change my method and I need to change my attitude. I've already made the changes in my life, that I want to be here. Now I got to change my actions, because I was basing things off of what I know, especially like, hey, oh, this is going this route. Okay. And thinking like, okay, well, let me go on and be the macho man here. Boom. Hey, I'm a handle this my way. It wasn't that I didn't want to give myself the opportunity to give this relationship an opportunity, a chance, It was that, hey, you know what? She's so-called giving me this position in her life, but I'm seeing the decisions that she's making, and I'm seeing I didn't even know all the other stuff that was on the flip side of things at that time. But I thought she was trusting me. But at the same given time, though, I didn't know that she was slowly buying into the bullshit that she was receiving on her end. And then I turned into the bullshit that she was getting on her end. I'm like, okay, well, let me give you a show. Let me show you what they talking about.
Yep. And then that's when I came in. Yep. Look what that show did. Look what that show did.
That's not for
Gotta
me.
go.
Exactly.
Yep, that's exactly.
I do not. This is not what I signed up for.
I remember talking. I remember like, what do you want? Well, you better change. And it wasn't a change you had to do. It was just your view toward, damn, this little boy gone.
No,
Them little bites, man.
It was from my point of view, man. I had to understand what a man was. You know what I'm saying, and how a man was supposed to be. Hey, I don't have to be that macho, head of the household type of dude. You know what I'm saying? On that, that's not how you be the head of the household. That's what I had to come to and say. Look, man, whether she's right or wrong, she might not ever be right, but that don't mean you don't have to be right. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you have to be wrong. So I remember, and I can go back to the point in time I was in Oakland. At that time, I was in Oakland doing a delivery, and I was crying. This was after all of the tender stuff, and I said, you know what? Boom! When I got back down to the warehouse that we had in Westlake Village, I said, you know what? You ain't got to worry about me on Tinder, none of this stuff, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. And look, this is where I'm at. I want to be here. I love you. Your actions, though, I can't change. You got to figure that one out for yourself. Boom. And from that, it didn't make things better because whatever she was going through, she still had on her.
Just too pissed and too done, and I'm like, I do not. By then, my trust that I had already had major trust issues, and by then, my trust issues were totally. I was like a raw nerve. By then I was done, and that's why I got to the point where I was, and that's why I went to Tennessee. I was like, I can't do this. I've already been through too much in my life, and I'm not going to continue going through this kind of shit. I had not signed up for that because I was in love with him, and I'm like, he's going to put me through this kind of stuff. This is like some stupid pimp shit. I'm not doing this kind of bullshit. That's not the woman I am, never was. And if he's looking at me like that kind of shit, he needs to go on and go about his business because that's a whole life I do not want to be involved with. And if he's that type of man doing this kind of bullshit, he needs to just go on without me. That is not who I am. And if he's a man that just wants to run around with all these different women behind my back and be even worse than what Billy was, then he needs to continue on. And that's not who I am. That's just how I felt. And whether I had allowed people to get in my head or whatever, he reverted to be, like he said, just like what everybody was telling me. So that's where we were at. So we had to get through that phase.
Oh, I know. I remember.
He lived up to all their expectations and all their expectations they put on me. And he lived up to them. So I was like, this is not the life I expected for myself after all the bullshit I've been through in my life with Billy for 34 years. I had already been through all of it, sick for all those years, had heart surgery, and then going through this shit. Oh, hell no.
On the flip side of it, for me, that's exactly how I felt. I went all this shit with my baby mamas and all that crap, man. And I'm like, man, accusing me of something I wasn't. Well, you know.
Oh, I know. That was the emotional response.
What it was, though, was the devil, though, man. But we needed to go through that, though, because I definitely needed to go through it for sure, because I probably would have never changed fully if I didn't go through that, because it would always been in the back of my mind that I can easily just go do this. I could easily just go do that. You know what I'm saying? Bam. And like, and even though I was telling myself that I'm giving this a full opportunity, as long as it's a thought in the back of your head, that you're not fully given an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You say, hey, I'm done with it. I don't care. And this is what a lot of guys have a problem with. Certain things like, you know what? I don't care about you going through my phone. You can go through my phone. Because before I had a problem with that. Like, you know, going through my phone. And, like, I'm going to intentionally put something there so you can find it. You know what I'm saying? Because
well, you know, that was how we dealt with things. You know what I mean? And it wasn't you know, like I said, you know, a lot of things. I remember you going through all this, but a lot of us did a lot of things out of anger and like what was our emotional response towards it, you know?
Well, I should learn from that. If I would have learned from that situation, we might have got through this thing with Montu a little bit sooner, huh?
Yeah, you would have got not just Montu though, but you don't. You know, your journey. You have to cut your fingers, get 5 stitches in your jaw, you know, and maybe fall down a couple times before you like, hey, maybe I need to see things, you know.
Well,
my dude was a soldier. I'm like, oh, yeah.
You don't control people. That's what people think. When you don't control people, you only control yourself. So when I said that, you know, hey, I put that, even though it could have been the damage already done, you know, that could have been a situation where the damage was already done. At the end of the day, I needed to still make that extra change in my life, you know. Hey, boom.
But you know,
I don't need to do that. Why do I need to piss a person off and make them mad? You know what I'm saying? Because they have their insecurity issues or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you care about a person, or if actually not even care about a person, if you care enough about yourself, you don't have to do that, period. You know what I'm saying?
Well, back to that respect. You got to respect yourself, you know, and understand. But, you know, it took Montu for you to even view things like that, though. Remember? You know, that was part of your journey. Now you're seeing things a little with more clarity. And that's why you can relate to a lot of stuff. I still don't sort of understand that one, you know, because especially when you and Gayle told me it's impossible to train a cat. But we've been there. You know, but you know how many times I've told you something and it came back to it's fun. For me, I enjoy it. I'm like, okay, you know, I enjoy it.
But it seems like we actually trained this cat, but not the way I thought we was going to train the cat. It didn't go.
No, I think,
but you're right.
I think we trained you.
You have. It's just not the. What you think in a human way of training him.
Yeah.
But you still have trained him. Like, he knows not to get on the counter. He knows when he sees your fingers ready to thump him, he's going to get off whatever you're telling him. He sees those fingers primed up to thump him in his little head, and he's like, oh, shit, I need to get down from here right now.
And I taught him how to come in and outside. As long as the front door is open, he can open the screen by himself.
Yeah, that's a cat. That's a cat. You know, you know, like I tell you, a lot of things that you're teaching him is unconscious. But the one thing you're not going to do is control him. Teaching and controlling is not the same thing.
You're absolutely right. And
it's finally catching up to you because you thought you were teaching when you were doing controlling moves. No different than, you know what I mean?
You might be on to something there, dude.
Well, it ain't. I'm on to something. You listen to your own self. You listen to your own self. Listen to your wife.
You gave him his parameters in which within he can work with. And like I said last night, now that he sees, okay, we're not going to force him to come in. He can come in and out. And when he's ready to come in and out, and now, he's cool. He'll come in at night.
And I'm sure he has that memory of the 3 days that he went on his.
Probably. On his but that ain't important to him, though. You know what's important to him? You're not controlling him coming in and out.
Yeah.
You're not. That's. See, like I said, you don't like to simplify things. You like to complicate things. Sometimes, you just stop and it'll work itself out. And you know what?
And I guess I got to stop being an extremist because I was ready to go to the other extreme. Well, now we go. Since you don't listen to this way, now I'm going to give you your way. And now you stay the hell out.
Well, that's the same thing, like you said. When you look at it, that's the same type of shit you did with your relationship in the beginning. To where you like, I'm going to give you something to fucking look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's you, like I told you in the beginning, you're your worst enemy sometimes. Only thing you need to do is sharpen your view towards certain things, and you can get your own answer.
Well, God bless me with somebody that has been able to help me out with that in a way that I allow it, because if she wasn't here, me and Montu probably still would be trying to figure out how to get along. But
hey, man,
nah, he come in and out. I'm like, it's one way or the other. He gonna mind or he gonna be out.
Well, the good thing about life, you keep living it.
But I got a chance to see though the way she put it though. Hey, he don't even want to be out no more at night. Like, he don't even want to be out during this heat during the day. He ain't going on his binges no more. He got his few seconds when he feel like it's cool that he want to be out there. He goes out there, do whatever he does, and then he'll be
whining at the door.
And you know what? A lot of that, a lot of things you seeing with that cat, a lot of your relationships have been like that. Not just with women, I'm talking about with men. Mm-hmm. A lot of your relationships are the same way.
Let them come and go as they please, huh?
Well, it ain't just let them come. Let them say, let them come, let them whatever they want as they please. One thing you stop is the Montu stuff, the controlling part where you want to control the outcome. That's the part. When you and Gayle was going through problems, the controlling factor was there. Once you understood, man, I love this lady. I don't need to control her. None of it. Y'all fit. It's like a puzzle. The right piece, but the right piece started with you. Montu is.
You agree with him on that? The right piece started with me.
You my right piece. You my puzzle piece, baby.
Well, I guess that's the part of leading and being the head of the household. Had I never made those changes, Gayle probably was not going to make those changes.
well, look at what.
No, if you wouldn't have made them changes, y'all wouldn't be together right now.
Well, look,
Gayle wasn't finna accept that same shit like she told you in the beginning. But you had to do the work.
Look at what I showed you the other day when I was going through my photos. I showed you the card that you sent me because usually you were so like hard-headed kind of that you wouldn't even have sent me a card or you wouldn't have even apologized to me when you sent me the card and the perfume and the candy, the strawberries when I was in Tennessee. You were like, fuck you, because you were so mean. You were like mean to me. You had been saying so many mean things to me, and you were so nasty. That's really what made me leave is I could not take hearing your mouth anymore. I couldn't. You were so nasty to me. Every time we would get in an argument, you would say the meanest, and I never had anyone talk to me like that.
And I guess I had to figure out how to deal with that. I guess that was my goal, man.
It was like you were trying. I'd never had anyone.
It's about my hurt.
And I knew that, but I could personally, I was like, this man is so belittling to me. And I mean,
I wish I had the same value though that I have as making people feel low as lifting people up. And that's what I'm trying to regurgitate my energy right now, is lifting people up. And then I keep getting knocked down with people with this little bullshit, like the Lake Havasu people and all that stuff, and they knock me off my rockers and stuff like that.
And that's where that kind of stuff starts coming out, is all that pain that people have done to you all your life.
Yeah.
Then that pain,
you don't want to deal with it.
And then you come off like you have a chip on your shoulder, which I hate that people bring that out of you. I hate it, because you have to get over that bullshit, because it brings out that in you. And that's what pushed me. It wasn't even as much what you were doing, but it was how you were treating me. The stuff that was coming out of your mouth. And it was like, then when we started communicating, and I knew you were drinking, because I could tell you were drinking, and then you started just being so vile through your text to me. And I'm like, I can't do this. See, I can't communicate with him, because you started being so, and that's what it was. It was like, I can't be with somebody.
I guess it's a good thing that nobody has ever. I don't know how I would feel if somebody would have jumped because of my mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you had 3 of them that did jump because of your mouthpiece.
No, I'm talking about literally jump, man.
Jump on what?
Remember Chloe's mom told the court.
Oh man,
he told
that's
me to
an emotional response.
What if she would have did that? What if she would? It
wouldn't be your fault. It wouldn't be your fault.
Actually, it would be, man.
That'd be something you said, but you can't control.
Like I said, can't make somebody do.
You can't control no one, bro.
Choice. That's their choice.
You can't. You see, this is the part. You still think you have control over.
I don't have no control.
Else.
I have control over what comes out of my mouthpiece, though.
Exactly.
Gayle is explaining though right now. It made her feel like this or whatever, and she didn't know how much damage she was doing to herself at the same time too. She was damaging herself regardless of what the fuck was coming out of my mouthpiece, dog. At the same time, is that, and it put her in a position where she would make those decisions. She'd make stupid decisions by walking off and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're absolutely, and I didn't have any. That was my coping mechanism. So you're absolutely right. It makes someone else's coping. Like at the time, you'd come back to the warehouse, and I would have been drunk because I was coping with all this stuff. It makes someone else's actions off of. So it ended up being all bad because I'm coping.
So I'm just thanking God that nobody actually has acted on my behavior, bro. Because once I got good at that. Once I got on,
it became, and sometimes you pride yourself on that skill. You sharpened your tongue so much.
Yep.
You sharpened your tongue to where it is a weapon. It is a weapon.
Yeah, but it is a weapon, but
and you have said if somebody comes at you, you know how to cut them even like dice and slice, and that is something you almost pride yourself on.
Yeah,
but that is
you really do.
Well, it's actually the opposite. It's not that I pride myself on; it's what I protected myself on. Because
but that,
wait a minute, hold up.
But see,
because I had the person I can pinpoint it down to. Crystal was the worst person in my life.
But when I say prided, it's no different than being it's a warrior. So a warrior, you better be proud that you are the best warrior. So that's why I say pride. So you have honed down a skill, which is a warrior. So you have become a warrior with your tongue to protect yourself. But it is a very dangerous weapon. It is a very dangerous weapon. And
I want to use it for the greater good right now.
Okay. And that's why when you start getting into that space where you're starting to use those skills for something that's darker, and we need to be using your skills for the light for our business. That's why I try to steer you away. And sometimes you get upset with me, like, well, we need to protect ourselves and we need to make people respect people. That's why. And then you start getting like,
you having a ball with this one, huh?
Mad at me.
Man, okay, I don't mean to cut nobody off. No, I'll keep going, Gayle. I'm just laughing because I've been saying this for some years, and he fights to the nail with a word that I say. That's why the word is wordplay.
Skill, man, you know, and I never really looked at it as a protection at all either. I guess it's something that happened, man, and
yeah, but you don't. It ain't the process of you looking at it. I'm
not saying it's. I'm not even saying it. It's not a bad thing. It's just how you use it. But you can use this for good. You hone your skills for a good purpose because you have so much intelligence and you have so much skill. So use it for a good reason. But what you do is you interact with these people in your life that bring out the bad. You know, like you get on the phone with Ramon and all he's going to do is stir you up. Then you have a couple drinks, and then here you guys, it's like sparring. You guys are sparring. So you got your sword out, which is your tongue, and that's what the Bible calls the tongue. It's a sword. And then Ramel has his sword out, and you guys are going at it with your tongues, and it's like a battle. And I'm sitting here listening to it, going, "What the hell?" You know, and it gets nasty. It just gets nasty, and then it brings up all these old feelings, and then churning, and then it puts you in a dark place, in a bad place, and then a week goes by. You know what I mean?
And I guess I feel bad. You know, at the end of the day, what if you still there, Snot?
I'm listening, man.
Because I had a call coming in, but I ain't gonna answer it though right now. I'll call him back. I would feel bad though if I call myself just defending myself, but injecting somebody like Ramel, baby down, you know, and he get off the phone with me and he just go slicing a person's head off or something because he mad at me and he can't get to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I'll be like that. Yeah, that was his decision or anything, but how would it affect me long term that he did that because he had the conversation with me? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would agree with that. But see, the one thing where I draw the lines now is I speak the truth. I don't let the emotions get the best of me. When you and Ramel or anybody else, when your emotions get the best of you, or however you want to wordplay that, that's when the outcome is irate. You know what I mean? I'm serious. You know, you can be emotional with your wife, but everybody else in your life you can't be emotional with. You know what I mean? Because you being emotional, people know and play with emotions, man. You're no different than what you do. You know, when you get upset and your emotions is high, that's when you like, fuck it, I'm going to just blow it up. Oh, blow it up, motherfucker. I'll tell them. You know, that's what you do. That's like you said, protection. You know what I mean? That's protecting. I get it. You don't have to. If somebody sit over there and say death to you and your whole family, my response is, well, God bless you, and I hope he'll heal you on his terms, not the reaction that I'm going to go with that. You feel me? But like you said, your tongue, two tongues, like she said, sword. Metal sharpens metal. If you're not helping me grow and you want me to continue to zigzag when I move forward, I'm going to put a time limit on our communication.
Well, to me, I think what people hate more than anything is when you are in control of yourself. When they can get you out of your element, then they feel like they have manipulated you. But when they see that you are in control of yourself and they cannot control you, then that's the thing. When they can get you all worked up, then they feel like, oh yeah, okay, good. But
well, that's what they keep doing.
When they see that they cannot move you, and you have already stated who you are, where you are, and they can't get on the phone with you and get you all worked up. When you are in control of yourself, then they know that you have moved on from the bullshit, the toxicity, and you're cool. It's like you're cool, you're living your life, you're happy, you're doing your thing. But when they can call you and get you riled up you, but when you are in control, then they know, oh, that dude is solid. He's solid.
Yeah,
he is unmovable, unshakable. Yeah. And that's, to me, when you have that kind of conversation, I'm like, yeah, my man is like, he's in control of himself. They cannot fuck with him. And that's what I love. When you get on the phone with these people and the next thing I hear, you starting to yell and fuss and they're bringing up this and that. But sometimes, though, it's you start triggering stuff to where it gets like that because of your mouth, your tongue. You start that jabbing and you got to say something smart about this and that, and you start doing that stuff. And when you stop doing that, then it'll tame it down to my life.
It's one thing like this, like Gayle said, you have done it to me multiple times. But one thing I have never done to you is react the way you expected me to react.
No, man, you've been a true brother, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Man. Yeah.
Man, I know I've said a lot of
your
stuff.
Feelings. Like, man, I know I've hurt your feelings, bro. You could have just, you could have, man, fuck that nigga down, man.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not just about what you do to me. It's about what I'm doing, too. You feel me? I understand that the truth will make people angry. Anger is the emotional response. You know what I mean?
I definitely appreciate you, man. Bro, man, I definitely appreciate you, bro. God bless me with two individuals that is gonna help me live out the rest of my journey here, man. And that's why y'all in my favorites on my phone. I got two people in my favorites on my phone. That's my wife, Gayle, and you, my brother, D, and man.
Hey, man, it's like that old saying, bro. It takes two to tango. If one do it, they gonna get tired of doing it. That's when you start, like your wife was telling you, all that is what we've been talking about for some years, just in a different side, right? Different view. But she been paying attention though, because like I said, a lot of things over the years me and you talk. That's why I brought up the word wordplay. And make sure I emphasize it when I'm talking to you, because if I say right, unconsciously you want to say left, and it ain't a shot at no one. Just the unconscious thought process is, that's what you're going to go with. And I know that. That's why I don't, when you get to flashing and whoop-de-whoop, and I don't get to flashing at you, and I'll be like, hey, bro, I understand. You know what I mean? You right about that. Because before, when I was very emotional, that's when we would go back and forth. And then just like with SAG, when you talk to SAG, that's the part where I'm telling you, that's how you deal with your emotions when you talk to the people that make you emotional. Just like smoking a cigarette.
Actually, SAG has been, after all our dealings with, man, SAG's issue is with himself right now, man. It's been with himself, man. Yeah,
it's always been that way, though, bro. It's all I'm trying to tell you is it's always been that way. You just responded the way he expected you to respond. That's why
it ain't been that way for a long time. I just gave him the freeway, man. He can ride on that motherfucker by himself.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Hey, man, God bless. Chime in. I understand the assignment. I know you're an emotional man that got a lot of
idiots that hang up on me like, hey, man, I'm not going to do all of that toxic shit no more, dog.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But like I said, for as far as certain things go, though, bro, if you don't deal with a problem when it arises and understand, you taking them problems with everything else in life back to right now, some of the things you're doing day to day in Arizona, and you're getting the kind of, maybe not the same exact results as you would, but, it's not a good situation to be in, is what I'm going, regardless of the result, right? You want to sharpen against iron. You don't want to go against wood. So, your tongue, like your wife said, is your sword. For somebody else, you just playing the game.
Well, there's some people that are saved without knowing they've been saved.
Well, that's the only way you've been saved is when you
I save myself, though. I save myself from what those things would
do
eventually turn in the end, because
but now you understand
money to fight those battles.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, bro. A lot of us don't have the money. A lot of us respect ourselves to where, we put the right people as where we want to go. You know what I mean? And where I want to go, I want to live my life through God. I want him to show me the direction. When I need information, different views, I talk to people. Maybe I apologize because I didn't, I say words and they may mean something different to you than it would on my intent of putting it out there, because one thing I've learned wordplay and I know how to use it, I'm not trying to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Because, when you want to wordplay words, that ain't me no more, and I accept that. I'm not trying to get a result by changing the word that benefits me. I want my words to benefit you, me, and whoever else listens to my word.
What amazes me, man, because I remember, man, who you've become, bro, and I know I'm a part of it, who you are to this day. But you're definitely a part of who I am to this day, who you've become versus when we was, in Fontana, man. I remember them West Covina dudes pulled up on us, we was kids at the time. We was like 15, 16 or whatever. And we had that dude Tommy with us, and we was walking from the I think the liquor store or something or whatever on our lunch break. And then West Covina dudes pulled up on us, and you was like, hey, man, I was ready to go because we know these was grown men and stuff at the time that was pulling up on us, hit us up where we from. And I'm ready to go, too, at that time, Tommy ran and you hit me and like, hey dude, nah, nigga, this is where you represent, nigga. Pomona 247, boom, Ghost Town Crib, boom. You know, I didn't know what we were supposed to do at the time. Be honest with you, bro. I like, man, it's boys in the hood, man. I really didn't care though. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care what happened on either side. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. Can I say something? You know, to me, where I'm at, that was me out there trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
That was me out there trying to commit suicide because I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't have respect. I didn't even love myself. You feel? Like I said, all of us have them tendencies in our life to want to commit suicide. It's just different views of doing it, you know? I look at that as, hey, I don't want my son growing up that way, and look how my son grew up, my first, you know what I mean? But I had to learn from my bad decisions in life to make me who I am. Not nobody else. My bad.
Man.
You know?
Dog, you awesome, man. You've been a blessing in my life, bro. I know you out there doing your thing. And we'll get back to this, man. I want to start this, continue to record these conversations, man. I'll send you a copy of them, man, you know. And it's something I think that, however they use, man, you might use it to show your kids one day, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, you know.
We learn it.
And we need to capture it, though. We learn it. We need to capture it. And sometimes I need to go back and re-listen to it because, you know, even if it's to see the change you made or to see the change that you should make, you know, we're going to start doing that, bro. Like, and you can probably do it on your end, too, man. Just hit the record button, man. I think it's good, man. This little thread that we just had right now since the time I hit record, man, I think is pretty awesome, man. And however it's used, I think it helps some other people because remember when I first started off, before I started recording, trying to figure out how to get this out to people and show the people that, hey, man, we changing. We got some pretty good lives right now. Both you, me, Gayle, you know what I'm saying? That's 3 adult human beings, bro, that got different lives and different life expectancies for people that's out there trying to figure things out. We're not trying to figure certain things out that other people are still trying to figure out, man. You know?
That's true.
You know? We didn't surpass that, man. And sometimes it gets to the point where I don't even realize that people are still going through those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to even understand your point of view. Like, I expect you to, especially if you old as me or older than me, damn, you should know this already.
Yeah, everybody don't go through the same journey. You know, some people go through a journey and just want to go left in their life.
And then you get me caught up arguing with some stupid.
Yep.
That man.
That's the part.
It's like a 12th grader arguing with a kindergarten.
First grader.
Yeah.
A first grader. You know, it's like my daughter coming over arguing with my son about, oh, I was dad's favorite. Like, what are you, retarded? Oh, act your age, not your shoe size. That's what I tell her all the time. And then you got him 9 years old, like, nope, this is my dad, Brenda. And then, nah, both of y'all retarded, you know? But that's the emotional response of that.
I think you should definitely, I'll send you what I do on my end, man. But definitely record these things. I think these archives is gonna, at some point, they mean something to somebody, man. And you know, imagine your kids if you recorded every conversation that you have with me, or have the recording of the conversations you have with me, man. That's archives that your kids can listen to on databases. If they can find it somewhere online, or if they can find it in whatever, you know what I'm saying? This is a database, man, hey, you know, now you ain't got to tell them everything about, you should, or whatever, you should do this or whatever, or try to make them believe or whatever. And then they know, you know, the ones that you consider me that I'm their stepdad and stuff like that, hey, boom. It's like, Godfather, same. Yeah, you know what
not the same. Not the same.
It's not the same, yeah, but you're right. You're definitely right on that.
We don't do that. We're not going, no.
You did what I would do. Let's correct that term, my guy. God, that, yeah. That's a total difference. Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get there.
Yeah. I think these archives is good, though, man. Imagine if you could go to an archives right now between your moms and pops or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you could just listen to them. How much would that help you right now? You know what I'm saying? Or
I would agree.
Help you 10 years ago. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you could listen to the archives of how your mom and dad communicated with other people and and then you might understand your chemical imbalance of how because it ain't the gang shit though, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it plays effect, Trey 5-7, Ghost Town, nigga. That plays an effect, but the bigger effect comes from the bloodline. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, bro, I got to run in here.
Thug it up, man. God bless.
Hit me up later. I'm off all day.
All right. You have a blessed day, my man. I love you, bro. Man.
Love you too, man.
All right.
Have a great day, bro. Bye.
One.
I'm supposed to be